Hi everyone, I'm Monsi. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my first video. So you can't see my face on here just yet, and that's because I don't plan to do a face reveal until I get a good amount of subscribers. Maybe it could be at 10, maybe it could be at 1,000,000, maybe it could be at 1,000, at 100. We'll see. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about strange, weird, and unusual encounters I've had in my neighborhood. I was originally going to do 6, but it came out to like a 25-minute video, and that's just way too long, so I'm only going to talk about 3 today, and this is just part 1, so let's just get started. So this first one happened when I was still in high school, or during my freshman year of high school, I should say. And I had just walked out to my front door, and I was at the end of the driveway when I hear this creepy voice, like this creepy, raspy voice, and then I turn, and I see this hooded figure holding up a lantern saying these really, really creepy things. And I just see it, I get spooked, and I start walking as fast as I can, just walking away as fast as I can. And I hear something behind me, I hear footsteps behind me, I hear the sounds of dogs behind me, the sound of chains behind me, and every time I turn around, there's nothing there, there's no one there. I got really scared, and I think I just hid inside, or hid by a bush or something, and suddenly I just catch up with a friend that I forgot all about because I was so scared. And, I'm like, he's like, what's going on, where have you been? And I'm like, this freaky woman, I just saw this freaky woman. She was, I couldn't even talk, all I remember is saying something about a freaky woman. And over time, or I think it was months later, I found out that it was just this elderly woman that lived on a nearby street, and she would just walk her dogs outside in the early morning in her nightgown, and she eventually realized she was scaring people and thought it was funny, so she decided to end up making things a little spookier by adding smoke and carrying a candle around just to scare people. She did scare a few people that I know, but she thought it was funny. And the second one isn't really that creepy. It's more of like, what? And this happened the following year when I was just starting off my sophomore year, and it was about the first or second day of school. I was walking home, and this car passes by me, and it beeps at me, and I just thought nothing of it. And then I'm walking here, and then it just passes in front of me, and this guy rolls down the window and screams out, "F you," at me. And I don't even know the guy, but I figured maybe it's somebody I know, or the ex of someone I know, or probably just didn't recognize him. And I had texted it to a friend, and she was like, "Did you know him?" And I'm like, "No." And it was later that day where I was just gardening out in the front yard, and I had my back to the street, and I hear the same car pass by, and there are these kids, they're just playing with their scooters, with their basketballs, and then the same car goes by, and he almost ran those kids over. The kids just dropped their toys, they dropped their scooters, and they run to the side of the road. And I think he did run over one of their scooters, but I'm like, he almost killed those kids. Eventually I found out where the guy lives, and I don't know if he was living there or just renting there, but after that he actually looked normal, so I don't know if he was on drugs that day. And I never reported it to anywhere, or I did tell my parents about it, but we never reported it to the police or anything. And this is going to be maybe the third and probably the most freakiest of these 3. And it was actually my freshman year once again, and this is actually after I had stopped talking to that guy friend that I mentioned in the first story. And I was actually just walking home from school, and outside this house, there's this guy in his underpants. Like, I had seen him before, but I never really paid much attention to him. And I don't know what he was doing, but I was just walking past the house, and he goes up to me and goes, "Girl, girl, girl," in Spanish, like "niña, niña, girl, girl, girl." And I turn, and he's like, "Hi," and I'm like, "Oh, hi," and I just run away from him. I didn't really tell my parents later until months later, and my parents were or my mother at least was infuriated and like, "Don't you know that's illegal? That man is sick. What is he doing outside in his underpants? Why, like, is he luring children over?" And I did mention to one of my teachers whose husband is a police officer, and she's like, "Why didn't you call 911? Okay, if you had called 911, that man would have been arrested immediately." And I do live near an elementary school, which, keep in mind, the same time I was getting home, like a few minutes later, the elementary school kids come home or get out of school and start walking home. So, I mean, was he waiting for the elementary school kids to come out? Or what, you know? But eventually the man did move away. I think I did see him, like, maybe a year later, but it was like maybe a 5-minute walk from the house it happened at, on like a bigger road. He did make a face at me, I think. I can't remember, but I didn't pay much attention to him. But anyway, those are my stories. I was actually inspired by Jessie V to make my own story times, but I have definitely wanted to send her some of my stories, but I decided why not start my own channel. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Stay tuned for part 2, and let me know what other videos you want to see on here on my channel. Bye.